So, ladies and gentlemen, the first important thing, as I mentioned, we have to factor. All right. Now, the basic thing I like to do is when I'm looking at factoring, especially when I just have binomials, is just to look at factoring using the GCF. So again, you can think of these as boxes. X squared plus 3x. What number could I use as a side length? Could I use the number 7? No, it doesn't make sense, right? 7 times what gives you x squared? That doesn't make sense, right? So you've got to think of a number that is shared between x squared and 3x. And that number that somebody comes up with would be x. So x times what gives you x squared? X. And x times what gives you 3x? 3. So does everybody agree with me that x times x plus 3 is the same thing as x squared plus 3x? Yes. OK. So, you're right. No, you're fine. Go there. So therefore, on my numerator, I have x times x plus 3. Now let's go to the other. Let's go to our other binomial. That one's over here. 4x cubed plus 12x squared. Again, what is a number that these both share that I can divide into that? They both share 4x, right? But you could even go higher. You could even go up to x squared, right? So let's write a 4x squared. So 4x squared times what gives you 4x cubed? Yes, Justin? Yeah, x. And then 4x squared times what gives you 12x squared? So remember, ladies and gentlemen, all factoring is taking an expression and rewriting it as a product. That's all you're doing. You're taking an expression and you're rewriting it as a product. So if you guys want to think about that, think about your expression as representing the area and the product representing the side lengths. So now I at least have done the two easiest ones. OK? Now we got to get to the more difficult. All right? So I'm going to erase these if that's OK with you guys. All right. So now let's do the trinomial. Now, when working with the trinomial, I'm kind of a little bit surprised that we're at this pace where we're at right now. Because these should be, everybody in this class should know where to get with these trinomials. If you guys remember when we did the trinomial, basically we do a times c, right? But in this case, a is, remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, a, though, in this case is 1. So 1 times 8 is 8. And 6, and they add up to give you 6. So therefore, we say, what two numbers multiply to give you 8, but then add to give you positive 6? Hey, yeah, 2 and 4, right? Does that make sense? These two numbers multiply to give you 8, add to give you 6. This is not the first time that we have gone over a problem like this. So now, all you're simply going to do is, if you guys remember, since a is equal to 1, we don't have to go through that box or anything like that. I can simply just use these as part of my factors. So therefore, I'll write this as x plus 2 times x plus 4. Now, let's go to the next trinomial. Actually, let's do it below over here. Let's do it this one. So the next one is x squared plus x minus 2. Again, we do the same thing. What number should I write up top here? Negative 2, because it's 1 times negative 2. And then what number should I write down here? 1. OK, so now we need to determine what two numbers multiply to give you negative 1, but then add to give you positive 1. Two and negative 1. Yes, you just said. Got it? Let me finish the problem here in just a second. You have 2 and negative 1. So now I write x plus 2 and x minus 1. Does everybody see where I've come with this?
It was negative 2 plus 1.
No, it's supposed to be positive 2 and negative 1, though. Because 2 times negative 1 gives you negative 2. 2 times negative 1 add and it gives you positive 1. All right, so now let's look at what is the similar in the numerator and what is similar in the denominator that I can divide to 1. Is there anything that's similar in the numerator and denominator? Since this is multiplication, I can go across multiplication. Well, I have x plus 2 right there, and I have the x plus 3s, right? Can I apply the rules of exponents here? Oh, actually, let's go and simplify it. So let's see what we have left. So I have x times x minus 1 divided by 4x squared times x plus 4. Now, what you guys notice is, again, I can use my rules of exponents here. I can subtract the powers, right? So that would give me x to the first minus 2, which equals x to the negative first. So I put that in the denominator. My final answer, ladies and gentlemen, is x minus 1 divided by 4x times x plus 4. What'd I do? Basically, what I did was I separated this into two problems. I separated this into the problem x divided by 4x squared. How do we simplify that? If you remember, we do 1/4 times x to the first minus 2. Right? You subtract the powers. Rules of exponents. Subtract the powers. Subtract the powers. That gives you a -1. When you have a -1 in the numerator, you have to put it in the denominator for it to be positive. So that is your final answer. Yes?